Hi, I'm Dr. Shetlin at the Viceroy Resort in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And I just want to welcome you to this class. We're going to hit on 3 key points. You watching this should be a wellness patient that's already been to our dinner class that we hold every other week and ask that our patients come to once a year. But I know it's a lot of information for you to sit through twice, so we want to make a shorter video for you here. And really hit 3 key things. 1, the history of chiropractic. 2, share some powerful stories about how chiropractic has helped save lives in our community. And 3, how we can help get that message out to your friends and loved ones and coworkers so that they can benefit from the truths we're going to share today. First of all, it's important to understand the history of chiropractic. It started way back in 1895 from a magnetic healer known as D.D. Palmer. And as he was in his office studying anatomy and physiology, his cleaning gentleman who comes by and cleans the office building came up by his office and said, and they started talking. And he asked this gentleman, because he was deaf, how he lost his hearing. And Harvey Lillard, the person that was cleaning the office, said, well, I fell down the stairs about 17 years ago. I landed on my head and neck and heard a pop in my upper back, and I haven't been able to hear anything since. Well, this intrigued D.D. Palmer, and he said, do you mind if I feel your back? And he did. And he says, I feel a bump here. Do you mind if I put some pressure on that? And Harvey Lillard gave him the okay, and he heard an audible pop, and the rest is history. Within 3 days, Harvey Lillard had his hearing back, and chiropractic was born. Now, originally, D.D. Palmer thought he had the cure for deafness. So we put the word out across the country, and people were coming to little Davenport, Iowa from all over the country trying to get their hearing improved. But it wasn't working, of course, as you might know. But all kinds of other things were getting better, including headaches and back pain and asthma getting better and allergies getting better, even diabetes and other things were getting better. People sleeping better, more energy, all kinds of stuff. So this triggered the research in chiropractic. So what was fascinating with this is he didn't know what to call it because it wasn't practicing medicine. So he had to come up with something different. And chiro means hands and practic means to practice. So it's not practicing medicine, it's practicing with your hands. So that's how chiropractic was started. Now it was his son, B.J. Palmer, who really took chiropractic next level. He's the one that opened up the schools and started actual training courses for physicians and did the more deep research, tons of research in chiropractic, both the science and philosophy of it. And he's the one that took it to the world. So today we have over 70,000 chiropractic physicians throughout the world that are helping put their hands on people to free up their nervous system, coaching people in proper nutrition and diet, and changing people's lives and saving lives every day. It's a very rewarding profession. In fact, chiropractic is rated as in the top 10 most rewarding professions around the world, where people are just so satisfied with their job because they get to see the miracles that we're going to talk about in this next section. For those of you that recall, my past wife Shannon was deaf, and being deaf and hearing the Harvey Lillard story when we were at Davenport, Iowa, going to college, we couldn't wait to get her under chiropractic care. And so we started adjusting her every way we knew how, hopeful that some hearing would come back, but it didn't. But she did stop wearing glasses and contacts. Wow, that's a miracle in itself. So for over 20 years, she no longer needed to use assistance in her vision. So we all respond differently to firing up that nervous system and freeing up that communication in our body. How does chiropractic work? All healing happens from above down, inside out. Our brain is controlling and communicating and coordinating with every living cell in our body, including digestion, immune system, all of it. So if we can free up that communication, your body is designed to function 100%. So sadly, all disease starts from inside out. So oftentimes we're looking for some sort of outside-in mechanism to help us heal and get better. But the key thing you need to understand is that innate intelligence that's communicating through your body, that God-given intelligence, you're the miracle that does the healing. Medical doctors, chiropractors, none of us heal you. You do the healing. Drugs from the outside may palliate symptoms for a short time while your body's healing, but they don't do the healing. Surgery and removing organs, sometimes that stuff's necessary, but is that really helping you heal? We may be removing some sort of inflammatory area, but we're not actually doing the healing. You are. You're the miracle. So another fascinating story. Fast forward a few years, and we're going to seminars now, and Shannon was with me, and we were sitting down, and we always talk with the interpreter. We had to have an interpreter to help translate in sign language whenever we'd go to seminars. So we started talking with the interpreter to ask how she got into interpreting. And she said that she started losing her hearing in high school, and by the time she graduated, she was completely deaf. So she had to learn sign language to be able to utilize interpreters to get the information in her classes to graduate in college. But she said at the age of 23, she started having horrible headaches, and a friend recommended that she go to a chiropractor for her headaches. Well, lo and behold, after a few weeks of chiropractic, not only did her headaches clear up, but her hearing came back. So she decided to become a sign language interpreter. A real modern day Harvey Lillard story. Pretty fascinating. Another story I love to share from the St. George Clinic was a little gal that came in to join our asthma study. In fact, she was having such a hard time breathing at night that she would choke and gasp to the point of vomiting every night, and her parents were so stressed out. Now, interestingly enough about this gal, her uncle was a chiropractor, but he didn't treat kids. So it is important to understand that in chiropractic, we have different specialties just like the medical profession. There are chiropractic pediatric specialists, there are chiropractic sports doctors, there are auto accident specialists. There's a gamut of specialties in chiropractic. So when somebody says they've tried chiropractic or they've tried everything, they should try a different chiropractor. There's more than one specialty out there for sure. Well, this little gal joined our asthma study, and amazing, after just a couple weeks, she was sleeping through the night with no problems. And by the end of the study, she was completely off of all of her medications. What's fascinating about her story is I bumped into her 14 years later when she was a teenager at a farmer's market when I was visiting St. George again. And she said, yeah, I've never had any medications since that time, and I've never had any problems since that time. So the power of helping that brain and body communicate 100% is powerful. Another story from St. George was a gal that was referred in again for headaches. She was telling me in the consultation that she's in the end stages of adopting 2 children from China. And she started having these headaches recently, and her friend says, you gotta go to the chiropractor, try us out for your headaches. Well, after 2 months, not only were her headaches under control, but she was pregnant. And now she's the proud mom of 3 kids, 2 adopted from China and 1 of her own. Simply freeing up that nerve flow helps our body function 100%. Who knew? She said she had tried everything to help get fertile and nothing worked. But once you turned on the faucet of that nerve flow, she was doing much better. One more story to close with, and that's with Harrison. Most of you have been to the dinner class and understand Harrison's story and how he overcame the impossible, cerebral palsy. And it didn't happen overnight. It took years of getting that right nutrition in, keeping the toxins out, getting that spine adjusted regularly, that chiropractic lifestyle. But what's so cool about his story is you all get to see him in the office or read his story in his book. You know it's a part of our practice. I'd like to share one more cerebral palsy story with you. I had the opportunity in 2011 to visit Haiti with the Healing Hands for Haiti group, which was a bunch of medical doctors and nurses and just volunteers that go down to Haiti to help out. I gotta tell you, Haiti's one of the poorest countries in the Western Hemisphere. Parents are lucky to earn $1 a day to try to provide for their family. Well, we went out to the country, we did triage clinics, and we helped a lot of people with prosthetics that had lost limbs and different accidents. But the biggest impact to me was seeing all these kids with cerebral palsy that were in the orphanages. So many orphanages, so many kids, so many with cerebral palsy. Well, the medical team didn't really understand what I was doing with chiropractic there. I mean, I was acting as a regular physician, but hey, I was a chiropractor as well. And so to one of these orphanages, I took the chiropractic table, set it up, and they were all kind of puzzled, like, what are you gonna do for these kids? We're here to like spoon feed them because they're having trouble with their health and well-being. They just don't have enough love and touch and stuff like that. So we're hugging on these kids, feeding them mush, because that's all they had down there. And I said, well, I'd like to adjust a few of these kids. Well, one child comes over, she was about 11 years old. She lays down the table, her arms and legs are all tightened up like this, and her eyes are just bouncing around with what's called nystagma. Well, she lays down the table and I feel her neck. And boy, there's just so many problems up in her neck. I could just feel a lot of subluxations or bones out of alignment, pinching nerves. And when I adjusted her neck, instantly her arms and legs went straight. Her eyes came down and started tracking on stuff, and she's looking around with this face of, oh my gosh, where am I and what's been going on? As if she's waking up from some nightmare she's been in for years. And after just a minute or so, the eyes slowly start to go back to that nystagma state, and the arms start to contract, the legs start to contract, and she went back to normal. And for you from our clinic that know Harrison's story, understand it took years to help Harrison move forward with that and get out of that diagnosis of cerebral palsy. And I knew the power within this child, but we were only there for a week. It was really heartbreaking to see that. And I know there are people, friends, neighbors, family members, that are suffering from ailments and they don't even know options that are out there. So please help me help our community. Who do you know that's suffering from headaches, neck pain, back pain, digestive problems, poor sleep, low energy, even the big stuff? We love to help people even with the big stuff. It doesn't hurt to try. The beautiful thing of chiropractic is there's no side effects. It's all benefits. So please help us help the people that you care about in our community. And after you're done with this video, share chiropractic with others. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Dr. Shetlin. We'll see you soon.